Hey guys, I have like a mini haul. This is about as hauly as I get. Um, it's basically 4 to 5 items, but some of them are necessities and some of them are exciting purchases. So the thing that I knew that I had to go to the store for after work yesterday was to get the Cerave Hydrating Facial Cleanser, which I love. I use it as part of like a double cleanse where I use like an oil based and put water on it to wash my makeup off at the end of the day, and then I use this. Definitely necessary during the winter. Love it, and literally used up my last of my other one last night. Then, also necessary, so this I picked up at Ulta, and Ulta's right next door to Marshalls for me. Then at Marshalls, I got what else I was looking for, which are makeup remover wipes. I have found these at Marshalls. They were $4.99, or at Ross, and they're these like multi-packs, and they're supposed to have different, like this one's collagen and this one I have found no difference. They're just makeup wipes, but it's good to have a big set of them. Then I was in the checkout at Ulta with just this being real good. Well, I'd gone and looked at the BH Cosmetics display, which we're going to get to in a second because they filed for bankruptcy and I'm worried they're going to go out of business, and I only own 2 things from them. But I really like both of them. But I'm standing there and they've had a clearance section, which has gotten me a couple times, like right up there, clearly trying to get rid of stuff from Christmas. And sitting in there, I see this Physician's Formula Butter Bronzer, and it is on sale for like 50% off. It was like $7.99. Because when I started with makeup at the beginning of COVID and was like, okay, I'm going to go get people's recommendations, I'm going to buy a full face because I'd been interested and I tried, but I didn't know what to do, and I certainly didn't have a full face. And this is obviously everybody's like drugstore recommendation. But it's $16, $17 sometimes when you look, and that's not a drugstore price. Like, I don't care if it's sitting on the shelf in the drugstore. If one item is $16, it's not a drugstore item. But I was like, well, I haven't been wearing a lot of bronzer recently. I have like a Wet n Wild, one of theirs, and I wore it the other day and I thought it looked kind of reddish on me, so I was like, well, I mean, $8 isn't like cheap, but let me give this a go. So I was out for the CeraVe cleanser, but the thing that I was also interested in is I'd heard about BH Cosmetics, and I own a set of brushes from them that I've just had for like 2 weeks and I love because people had recommended BH brushes to me, and I'd had them on my Christmas and birthday list for like 2 years and nobody, so I finally bought some actually in the checkout line on clearance at Ulta. Sorry, just some internal thinking there. And then for at least a year, I've owned the Smitten in Switzerland palette from BH Cosmetics, and I love it. And I just did that review of the e.l.f. Bite Size and this color Zurich. I compared in it, and it just like, I did like 10 swatches of different kind of like rosy, pinky, purple colors, and this one just performed so much better than any others. And I'd worn it recently, and so was like, oh my god, their formula is so good, what if I can't get it anymore? So I went to Marshall's. I checked out Ulta, they had it. It wasn't on like crazy sale or anything. They had brushes. I considered getting another brush set, but I'm like, I have a brush set, I don't need it. They had lots of eyeshadow palettes by BH, but like I have one and I haven't hit pan in it, and like this can be my eyeshadow palette from them. I don't need another. I was kind of tempted, if I was going to buy one, I'd probably buy the Low Key Like You because it has like some reds and a beautiful gold in there, and I don't think I have any actual true reds. I guess I have that candy apple red, but so I was really looking for like blush or bronzer because I figured that's something I could use. I ended up going with this bronzer, but so I looked there and they didn't have anything. So I was at Marshall's and I found a couple of things. They had like the Ireland themed highlighter palette, which is like 6 highlighters, and I was like, I don't think I need that many highlighters. Maybe regretting it. They had like a bronzing palette that was just too dark for my skin tone. They had a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Also, shout out to my local Marshalls. Everything was so like gorgeously organized. Like they'd clearly gone through after Christmas and pulled the Christmas stuff out, and the makeup section was just so organized. But they did have, for $4.99 each, these little blush palettes. So this is Vanilla Peach Truffle, and this is the Vanilla Orange Truffle. They also had the Chocolate Marshmallow, which was really interesting, but it was clearly way too deep for my skin tone. But also shout out to BH for having like variety and stuff that doesn't work for somebody with my skin tone, because not everything should work for this like pasty white girl skin tone. But I have these and I'm really excited to try them out. I basically have 3 blushes right now. I have this like very wine berry color from Bare Minerals that I've actually had since before I got into makeup. It was like the one and only one I owned, and I get that out for fall and winter. I have one of Essence's The Blush in like this very dusty rose, like very neutral. When I went traveling this summer, that's what I brought because it's a tiny container. And then I have from ColourPop, I have like a pink, 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 pink. So I have kind of been missing because I scanned my Milani Luminoso blush, and that did not meet criteria from the environmental working group, so it's been in my purgatory box where I scanned all my makeup. I scanned all my face makeup. I didn't scan like eye makeup, or I did actually scan mascara. I think all my mascara rates, but my eyeshadow, Milani eyeshadow primer rates. But the interesting thing is, I think blushes that have shimmer in them are what don't rate on there. And I couldn't find these on, and some of their blushes are okay and some of them aren't, but I decided to be not perfect and at least give them a go. So I think I'm actually, that's the end of my haul, by the way. Face cleanser, makeup wipes, bronzer, these are in the don't need category, and blush. I'm really excited to try BH blush and to see how that is and to just have some. So then I have eyeshadow, I have brushes, and I have blush from them. So I'm going to try and do blush swatches for you, which are a little difficult to do because I don't find like the hand or the, like it's just, that works for eyeshadow, like but just doing like a finger swatch of a blush doesn't give me the information I need about blush because it's so diffuse on the skin. So we're going to see how my cheeks hold up to this. I have no eye makeup on just because I have like all my skincare stuff, and then I was actually running around with no makeup on doing errands this morning. I was up late for up early for an appliance delivery. But I do have tinted moisturizer on, and I set everything with powder, and that's been on for 5 or 10 minutes now. So then I have a space. So I think we're going to do one color on one side, one color on the other. And then I'm going to use, I'm not going to do this on camera, but I'm going to use these to clean myself up, redo my cheeks. I also have some concealer on. Hopefully, like, I just take it off. It might start to look weird after a while, but I think it'll give the effect of what the blush is supposed to look like. I've been debating about like different brushes for each. I don't have enough blush brushes for that, or do I just clean the brushes off between? So I have this BH Cosmetics. It literally says blush brush on it. It's been used once since it's been washed in like that very pinky kind of color. And I have a Vera Mona color switch. So I think I'm just going to try and clean off between. What's sitting closer to me is, I think we're going to start Vanilla Peach because I think these are lighter colors. So Vanilla Peach Truffle to go with their food themes. There's even a little like mirror on the inside. Cute. So this is what it looks like. Definitely lighter colors. So we are going to start with, so it looks like these three are mattes, and then this one is a little shimmery. So let's start pink. We're going to do pink. Do these have shade names? Not that I can tell, so we're just doing this pink one up here. Okay, well, not lacking for pigment, right? Okay, that's really intense. It looks more diffuse on camera, but I look like a ridiculous China doll in person. I'm gonna have like one brush that I like put in the pigment and one that I like. And it's very, so this is this color. Okay, cleaning my brush, and then I'm gonna do the other cheek in this one, which is like a more toned down, but still definitely a pink. This one. Dipping back in. Okay, so that's much more subtle That looks really good kind of in person. It's a little washed out on camera, but that's this one. And then again, that one is bam. Okay, I'm gonna clean up and come back for doing our two like matte peachy tone and shimmer peachy tone, which I could probably layer on top of each other, but maybe I'll do separately. Okay, we are back. Took a makeup wipe, just took like this section off and then put tinted moisturizer on. You can actually see it pooling a little bit there. And then reset it with powder, same thing on this side. So the edges aren't even, but the idea is just to give us like an even plane of the face. Okay, so let's start on this side with this matte peach orangey shade. Clean brush. And this is kind of exactly the shade I don't have right now. Okay, I won't dip back in. I'll try and be honest here. Definitely showing up on camera, showing up more in person. It's nice. I like that. Okay, cleaning the brush. Okay, so this is then the one kind of shimmery shade, which is also kind of peachy. Like I feel like these are almost the same color. This one might be a little bit deeper. Okay. Not messing around, are we? So you can see some of that shimmer. There's a lot in person. So shimmer, no shimmer. I think very similar. Okay, so matte, shimmer. And before I wipe this off, we are just going to take a little bit of that shimmer and put it over the standard. And I bet this peach would look pretty blended into one of those pinks, but these are definitely pigmented, so way to go, BH. Oh, look at that. Nice. So that was the Vanilla Peach Truffle palette. I'm going to get cleaned up and then we're going to look at the next one. Okay, reset, took the blush off, put my tinted moisturizer back on, and then just reset it with powder so that we have kind of the same surface we're going on. I've definitely cleaned my brush, but I'm going to do it again. We're now looking at the Vanilla Orange Truffle palette. And this one has a lot more variety in it, I think. This one, which is almost reading red on camera, but definitely kind of an orangey red. This kind of neutrally one, but is definitely a little rosier than the other one. Then you have this, like not pink at all, and then this, which I think is probably too dark for me, but we're going to give it a go anyway. This might be better as bronzer. Who knows? Okay, but let's start with, why don't we go 1, 2, and then I can go down here, and I want to end with my brush on the darkest one. So let's start here. Okay, so that's very shimmery. Again, not a lot of color. Could almost use that as a highlight, which is nice because I thought I was just getting a blush palette, but that could totally be a highlight. It's adding some color to the skin, but again, not a lot of like pinkiness. I am a little pink back here, but I think that's just my skin. This could be what fancy YouTubers call a blush topper, which isn't really a thing unless you have a makeup collection that's just too big to handle. Let me clean my brush and we'll go into the pinkier one on the other side. So this kind of deep rosy one. And this one looks all matte. Maybe not. Oh, kick back. Okay. cheeks were looking like this earlier today because it's freezing cold outside. I love these brushes, by the way. They're from their Christmas collection that all had the tagline, Miss Claus, Santa's daughter is here to slay, which just deserves credit for the pun. I don't buy all my makeup for the puns, but I do buy some of it. Okay, so that's looking good on camera. It's looking a little insane in the actual mirror, but is a really nice color and is actually kind of blending out really nicely. So, rosy color, and then kind of this color. Okay, I'm gonna go wash off my face, and we're gonna do that kind of deep orangey red, which I'm excited for, and that seeming chocolate brown, and see what that looks like. Maybe I'll discover something new. Okay, yet again, took it off with a makeup wipe, put tinted moisturizer back on, set it all again, cleaned my brush. So we have two final ones. Got this one, and this looks like the most sparkly of anyone, like it actually has a little bit of kind of glitter in it. Okay. I mean, I feel with it, like anybody with like a deeper warm tone skin tone, this would look gorgeous on. It is blending out really nicely, but it is a lot. So, definitely an interesting color. I mean, I don't have that color. Okay, and last one, which I feel like could be more of a contour color on me, but it doesn't mean that's how it is for everybody. Well, it's not nearly as dark as I thought it would be. It's definitely brown. Definitely has some red in it. I feel like this one isn't blending out as much, like you can still, but that just could be the skin tone issue. I mean, it's actually kind of wearable on me. Like, I mean, that was a lot of blending, but like when I look in the mirror, I kind of like this side, but I like this side, and they're both a lot, but so this side, and then this side. I definitely like their blush formula. I'm glad I bought it. I think for my skin tone, I really could have just done the peachy one, though it does have a repeat. Like, I think the pink is very similar, but I don't have anything orangey. So I think I'm going to do my makeup themed around the orangey, and maybe wear both like the orange and the shimmer. And there's this weird orangey color in the eyeshadow from Smitten in Switzerland that I've always wanted to try, but I've never gotten around to. And then I can try the bronzer, and this could all be a terrible mistake.